Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and usually with me, my hetero life mate, Omar Feelings. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go watch a movie, you watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you. This month of November of 2025, we chose to focus on another American staple. It is
Football.
It is football. Oh, you weren't here last week. It was watch just the end credits of Wildcats. It's so dumb. It's dumb fun. But yeah, football. Anyway, so we chose
Well, to be fair, the last couple of minutes of this film too has its own like on any given Sunday. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Do you know who sang the song?
No.
Jamie Foxx. The multi-talented Jamie Foxx. Yes. There are.
He was beaming, and he does leave the ladies cold creaming.
Yeah, cold creaming, and he's been steaming. And also, I didn't know this, but there are. Well, I kind of know, but I didn't quite make the connection. There are connections or connection between this movie and Wildcats. Believe it or not. Ripley's, believe it or not. Yes. So in this week or on this week, we chose to, or I kind of bullied us into watching Any Given Sunday, which I told Matt Kadish. For those of you who are coming over from the Salty Nerd podcast, thank you. Enjoy yourself. I did say to Matt Kadish that I think this is one of the best football movies of all time. He vehemently disagreed, saying that Oliver Stone made it on coke. Okay, maybe that didn't come up on research. Probably did do it on coke, because
I could see that, or massive amounts of ayahuasca with all of the random Native American influences in there and random lightning strike. Like, what is
also I will there was another guest on the show that had some criticism. I'll get to that when we do the first segment. But he said it was full of coke. He was full of coke, so he made a crazy movie that didn't make any sense. It was downsized to 2.5 hours, 2 hours 37 from 5.5 hours. So the coked version would have been insane.
So they just like, okay, we're actually going to have you just play the entire game.
Oh yeah.
The finale.
The first scene, the first game. Oh, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But essentially, I didn't have it in my notes because I thought, it's fine.
Yeah.
The first game, the very first game, was an hour-long segment.
Wow. Was it versus the Minnesota Americans? Or like that is the oddest name for a team I've ever heard of.
Correct. Also, they had also Crusaders and Knights, which are two different teams.
Yes,
and both have sort of a medieval themed.
Wasn't it also too that they at one point in time they misnomered the San Francisco team, and then they just did not call them by any name at the very end of the film?
No.
Okay.
Because it wasn't it was they didn't talk about San Francisco as a team. They talk about San Francisco as a place.
Yeah, but there was a team name they mentioned during the rundown of the teams in the AFFA.
The only team that was mentioned that was a real team was actually the Dolphins, and it was done on purpose, and it was done to make a point. We'll say that.
I kind of wish they would not have mentioned it and conflated it with the NFL in any way, shape, or form, though.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Just I want to say hello to everybody that came around. Hi Gambit, hi Kalikioki, and all the rest of the lurkers that came over from the Salty Nerd podcast, and everybody that is gonna, trickle in. Paul Harley, of course, our esteemed mod and chief. And why don't we just start the show proper, because we kind of started talking about it, so we'll get in depth of it By the way, just so you know, last week it was an hour and a half and I had to do a solo show, barely filled in the spots. This week, I promise you, we will barely talk about the rundown of the story because we will not have enough.
It's way too long.
It has a lot going in it. Partly because the reason is
sound production take 2.
that insert took a second and a half later than what I expected it to be. But partly the reason of behind the screens, which is everything that is behind the scenes, production-wise, all that good stuff that we kind of started talking about. Let me bring up my notes, and I will try to keep up with the chat as well. Let me put the notes instead of here in front of the camera, there. Okay. So 3 pages of notes. There. That's a lot.
Okay. I am not surprised.
Let me just go. So Oliver Stone is not well known or wasn't well known for being a football fan. However, he is a massive football fan, especially the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers. He also, back in the day, back in the early 80s, he also wrote a treatment of a football story called The Linebacker, but nothing came out of it, and it wasn't included in this movie. It was just him doing some sort of a writing exercise per se.
Wait, so I can see then why he made San Francisco win, and also how he mentions the fact with he's giving condemnation to Beam, and they're like, well, the kid thinks he's Joe Montana already. He's like,
There are tie-ins to San Francisco 49ers that are not involving Oliver Stone.
Okay. Go ahead.
But you were on the point, but missed the spot. Okay, let's see. Let's get into it. So Stone said his treatment or his version of a story that he wanted to tell was Platoon, but football. Not in terms of death, but more in terms of the war elements and how dark and gritty it is behind the scenes. That was his treatment,
which I think they did a really good job of covering the concept of CTE before it was really raised as a major issue.
That is a big thing that they kind of put on the mark, but it's more like a peripheral thing rather than just production. They didn't even know about CTE back in the day.
Well, but also too, just the amount of injuries and that.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. So the entire story is not actually one cohesive story. It's actually made up of 3 distinctive parts.
Mm-hmm.
So around the time where Oliver Stone was working on Nixon, his producer turned to one of the co-writers on that project called I forgot his first name. His last name is Weiner. I think it's Robert Weiner.
Okay.
And he was approached again by Stone's producer, and he said, do you have any like sports-based stories? Now, Weiner at the time was working on a book with Joe Montana called The Art of the Quarterback, the magical art of the quarterback, something like that. And through his association with Joe Montana, who was like the QB for 49ers, he met a man called Jamie Williams, who was a former tight end of the 49ers. He was writing a book, Jamie Williams was, a story about a young black quarterback, because at the time, there weren't many black quarterbacks at all. There was Warren Moon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and he God, who did he play for? I know he played for the
Oilers.
Vikings.
The Vikings was Dante Culpepper, and that's a little bit.
No. Moon played for the Vikings as well, from the 95 to 97.
Yeah, but Yeah, we're talking about like early, like mid 90s. So yeah, so Warren Moon for sure. Maybe even Dante Culpepper too, but there weren't a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Paul. It was
Paul
Eagles.
Harley said,
Okay.
yeah, it's Vikings and Eagles. It wasn't Oilers, but yeah, we're in the ballpark. Which kind of intrigued Stone because as he was well versed in the history of the game, he said, yeah, there weren't many of them. I think there was a guy called is it Richie Cunningham? Something Cunningham, also a black guy, but it wasn't a QB for a long time. I think he was in the Jets. I think. Don't don't put me on a spot on that one. I love NFL history, and I was knee deep into it when I was really into like NFL, but I forgot a lot since then. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on. So both Weiner, it's Jamie Weiner, not Robert Weiner. It's Jamie Weiner and Jamie Williams, if I'm not mistaken. They both kind of wrote a treatment based on Jamie Williams' story, and they presented it to Oliver Stone, who loved it because the story was a young black quarterback replacing an old, decrepit quarterback, and now he has to deal with this old school style coach that doesn't want to do any like new plays. He was counting on his own like tried and true playbook. While all of this was going on, there was a book published called You're Okay, It's Just a Bruise by Rob Huizinga. Now, he was a doctor on the Raiders, on the LA Raiders. Yeah, it was LA Raiders at the time.
No, this have been the Oakland Raiders.
Was it always the Oakland Raiders?
No, they
Anyway.
changed to the Vegas. They're the Vegas Raiders now, but they were Oakland Raiders before. That's John Madden coach there. Like,
yes,
that's what they're really known.
He
for.
was on the Raiders team.
Yeah,
or was never mind. He was on the Raiders team as a doctor, and on the same team there was an orthopedic surgeon, an older orthopedic surgeon that was sending out players pretty much banged and bruised, sort of like the James Woods character.
Yeah.
And Huizinga was the Matthew Modine character. So that whole storyline was a book. Now, Laura Schuler Donner, Richard Donner's wife, was already working on a project based on that book, with Dustin Hoffman playing the Matthew Modine role, essentially. But because there was a merger between Time and Warner, and that whole ordeal, her project went to Stone as a collaborative project, and it sort of amalgamated into one of the storylines.
Got it. And I'm sorry, I had to mute myself because I was laughing because I'm just thinking of Dustin Hoffman as Raymond. Definitely a bruise. Definitely a bruise.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is, there was also a third script floating around Hollywood, written by Paul Logan, who is credited on the script as one of the script makers, one of the script writers. The other two, like Jamie Williams and Weiner and all those people, had like story credits, but not writing credits on the screenplay. There's a lot going on. But he wrote a story, or Paul Logan wrote a story about a coach who sacrifices everything in his real life for the love of the game and ultimately is left with ashes. Essentially the Tony D'Amato story.
Yeah.
So all of that kind of conglomerated into one full story, and Oliver Stone essentially picked out the best parts that he liked in the scripts and sort of combined them into Any Given Sunday.
Okay.
Now, Huizinga, who wrote the book, and was on as a consultant, and he was supposed to be one of the credited writers, did not get writing credits. And also he was disappointed because his entire storyline was kind of left as a side quest deal, because the whole Matthew Modine, James Woods thing is kind of a side story in this entire movie. They do give it a little bit of time, and it does involve kind of the other characters
Well,
that
and
are,
I do
are
think
involved in other things, but
it's
it's
also
not
one
the
of the more
main
like
thing.
really important stories too, because at the time it shows how pernicious like the owners really were just to get that extra win to get more money to the team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But he thought it would be, he kind of was into like having a movie starring Dustin Hoffman that he wrote, and he was disappointed. And it same goes for Jamie Williams, who like got a consultant thing, not put on the story bits. And he said that he thought that after his whole ordeal, he thought that it's like almost making a touchdown and then fumbling the ball, and then your offensive tackle carrying the last 3 yards to just hit the winning touchdown. And you're like, he gets all the credit and I did most of the work.
Gotcha.
He said that's how he felt like. All right. Casting. There's a lot. Okay. Tony D'Amato, the coach. It was originally supposed to be Robert De Niro. You can see where Oliver Stone was going for.
Yeah.
But De Niro asked for not too much money, but enough money for it to go over budget by quite a bit. And they were trying to keep the budget as small as humanly possible, because the last 2 Oliver Stone movies did not do so well. And the studio was like, yeah, we need you to like be on budget and on time.
Yeah.
So Stone was like, yeah, I want De Niro, but I'm not willing to spend that much cash, where I have Pacino willing to work for me. Now, Pacino really wanted to work with Stone again. He loved working with him when he was writing Scarface. And Pacino at the time had a deal to do a film about Noriega. He was supposed to be Noriega.
Yep.
But that whole project fell through. They never made that movie. But in his contract, the contract said that he would get paid no matter if the movie was made or not. And it was a contract with Warner Brothers. And in order to do this movie, Pacino had to waiver that clause in order to do this movie.
Oh, gotcha.
In order to fit within the budget. Otherwise, it would have been paid for this movie and for the Noriega movie.
Yeah.
Which would fall on this budget, all that stuff. Now,
when budget, just as a side, it was only like 50 million, right? Because it was
$55 million.
Yeah, which is, if you look at the production value of it and how many people are in it, well, at the time too, you're going to get it with casting. Not many of them were really, really big stars yet, but they became bigger stars, especially Jamie Foxx, obviously.
Yeah.
But some of them were fading too, like Anne Margaret. Well, you would have Jim Brown show up. I did love the fact they put
Cameron Diaz was big at the time, but like from The Mask and everything. But she wasn't.
She was really more bigger known from Something About Mary. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe so. Yeah. I don't know which movie was bigger in terms of worldwide recognition.
I do believe it
or
has
her
to be
profile.
Something about Mary.
You think so?
I would think so.
I would think The Mask would be more of a thing, but it's neither here or there. All right. So Pacino himself really took it serious. Like, he really wanted to get this character down. He worked with Steve Mariucci from the 49ers.
Yep.
Bill Parcells, who was, I don't remember if it was in the Cowboys at the time or in the Giants at the time. I think he was in the Cowboys at the time.
I think he actually just went over to the Giants.
No, he started in the Giants and he moved to Cowboys.
Okay, so this is after Jimmy left the Cowboys?
Yes,
then?
it's after Jimmy. It's after the dynasty. It's after the
Okay.
Cowboy Dynasty.
Okay. I think then this well, when it was filming, it was probably Jimmy.
This was
still there then.
98. This was
Yeah,
98.
because I think Jimmy was still there then.
Okay, maybe.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Go on.
Anyway, he worked with Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
And he worked with Mike Shanahan from the Broncos, where it was literally the last vestiges of Elway, where he won the 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, when he won, yeah.
So, and put a pin in that because it's probably the last kind of NFL connection there is. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, except for the other old actual stars. But
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait with that thought. Pacino also worked with and credited the most information and the most kind of stuff that he got from one Dan Marino, who worked closely with Pacino whenever he wasn't away doing with other coaches.
Dan Marino, one of the best quarterbacks who ever played the game, never won a
And
ring.
why? Because of the Miami connection, right?
Yeah.
So Cap Rooney's house, the everything, that's Dan Marino's house.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
That is Dan. The only problem with the movie is that they did not use isotoners.
Yeah, and I would say too, they didn't have a reference to the dolphin getting stolen.
No.
Or the fact that he tried to sell his soul to the devil, but the devil went, "Sorry, Dan, I can't get you a ring."
Exactly. All right. So off the rip, besides Al Pacino, Stone said he wanted a cast which was a combination of like old established actors alongside with like fresh faces as much as humanly possible.
Yep.
And also mixed in with actual NFL football players who are like former NFL stars. And there's a lot of them like interjected in it, but not really famous faces. So
obviously
he wanted them to blend in, but still have that authenticity of athleticism when they actually run the plays.
Well, yeah, the same thing. Like I mentioned to you backstage, how Dick Butkus is one of the actual coaches, and obviously Lawrence Taylor, who I think almost steals the movie as Shark. Really.
And there's a story with him, which is coming up. And Jamie Williams, who was again the writer and the former tight end, he is also in that mix for a few scenes.
Oh, okay.
Because he said he wanted to contribute, and he doesn't want like acting credits because he didn't have any lines. He was just one of the linesmen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So because of that,
wait, was he the guy who said, "Get your hand out of my ass"?
No. I don't know who was that. That's why they brought in Jim Brown, because Jim Brown was at the point where he was already an actor. He already did Mars Attacks. And by this point, he was in various different other projects.
Yeah.
But he was also kind of a half consultant because he was playing during the time where the old school of running plays were. So he had an input of how the coach would act with players in the new era. And he actually did run plays and actually berate players as if they were like 70s players rather than like late 90s, close to 2000s. LT, Lawrence Taylor, the great Lawrence Taylor, probably the greatest linebacker ever, or at least to many of people's eyes, but you know, take it or leave it. Mine's Ray Lewis. LT
Lewis is good.
LT was arrested for buying crack off of a hidden police, not hidden, undercover cop.
Yeah.
He bought crack from an undercover cop and he was arrested. But the production team wanted him to audition, not to be in the main role. He wasn't supposed to be Shark. He was supposed to be like one of those side characters that maybe have a line or two, but give authenticity to the plays, to the actual football game. And Stone said, and also the Warner executives said that they're willing to bring him on for an audition. And if he clears the audition, they would help him with his case, which he actually went into rehab like a day before the audition, was released with an accoutrement of like federal agents or whatever agents that are going to the audition with him. He did the audition. He was cleared, and because he was on a good behavior, he was allowed to join in. On the pre-production stage, where everybody's in training camp and all that stuff,
Yep.
Shark. Do you know who Shark was originally?
Mm-mm.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay, I could see it. Yeah.
Yes, Michael Clark Duncan was Shark. But during the pre-production, they saw that he just couldn't cut it athletically.
Yeah.
He was a good actor, but he wasn't doing his part on the field. So they brought in LT, and he just killed it.
Yeah,
he said he just immediately they just fired Michael Clark Duncan, and they brought in LT. They run a few rehearsals with him, and it was like, "Oh, you're the man. You're just the man."
Sorry, just a second. I need to time out Keely Chow real quick because Alabama's the worst. I'm kidding.
No,
Alabama still is the worst though.
Keely Chow is like the biggest Alabama fan. It's like, roll Tide, my dude. I'm not into like football is so like tearing it tears people apart even more than politics sometimes, especially college football, which is fucking insane. It is more insane than NFL for some reason.
Well, because before it's like
James
these
Wood
kids are just doing it for the love of the game. It's like, nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get to the coach scene with when Beeman goes to the coaches for dinner and how he gets he lost his draft pick because he went to that
he got a $300 suit.
Yeah. That was a big no back in the day. Now it's like no, you can trade players now and you get paid now in college. Yeah.
Anyway, so LT said that this movie literally saved his life. Now he had a few more run-ins with the law, but not as crazy as it was back then.
So, didn't LT also have a very small stint where he was in the UFC too?
He was in WWE for one match with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah. I thought he did something in the UFC.
It was a bad SummerSlam too.
Yes, that's very true.
The thing is with Michael Clark Duncan, it actually cleared his schedule. So he joined a different movie that was shooting at the same time. Do you have any idea which one it was?
The Rock?
It was The Green Mile.
Oh, it was The Green Mile, really? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, that was that time. For some reason, I'm conflating it to being earlier than it was.
It's shot in 98, but done in 99. I think it was it was good for both sides. Let's just say that. All right. Cameron Diaz was cast after she passed the audition, but Oliver Stone had a lot of reservations if she could actually play the part. Just on the merit of like NFL knowledge, football knowledge, and all that stuff. He invited her to go on a 49ers game. They went to the game, and he discovered she is a massive football fan.
Great.
She knows a lot. So yeah, he was like, as soon as they went to the game, it was like, oh, you know your stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
I will give her the utmost credit too. She plays just like the perfect almost villain in the film.
Yeah, I think so too. Low key, she's like ruthless and conniving, and
it was the commissioner played by Charlton Heston. It was just like, dude, what? Okay, but at the end of like the line was, I honestly believe that woman would eat her young.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, pretty much.
So the role of Cap Rooney was originally offered to none other than George Clooney. But George Clooney turned it down because of, and this is a quote, I thought Cap was the star of the show and realized I'm yet again in an ensemble cast and I don't want to be in an ensemble cast.
Oh,
2 years removed from, or 3
that
years
and
removed from
Ocean's
11.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was like, well, they listed him as 38. I don't want to be listed as that old as a character. Something
Yeah.
petty like that. But
And when they brought in Dennis Quaid, and they like as soon as he read, they were like, this is our all-American guy. This is like exactly the guy we want the Willie Beeman to replace. This is exactly the type of white guy, not white guy. They didn't say white guy. They said an all-American guy,
yeah.
quarterback. This is sort of like cliche that he would be the one to be replaced.
But when Cap actually says that he doesn't even know anything about the Gee Whiz defense, it's like, I believe that he would say that.
Yes.
Yeah. But also, too, this is the second film we reviewed in under 2 months where Dennis Quaid has come in and replaced a role. Like, I can't imagine anybody else.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Nailed it. John C. McGinley, the obnoxious reporter that gets pushed, he was told that he needs to base his entire demeanor on Jim Rome, which
Paul mentioned in the comments.
Which Stone said was a total pain in the ass to other NFL players. Now, I didn't know him, but I saw an interview.
Jim Rome is a prick. People hate him.
He called people's name, like he talked to them in an interview and he called the wrong name.
Yeah.
On purpose. It's like one of them said, if you say my name wrong again, I will leave this show. And when he did it again, he turned the table and left.
Yep.
On air. Right. Wheelie Beeman. And we're getting close to the end of the notes. I said it's long. Mm-hmm. The Wheelie Beeman thing proved to be really tricky to actually get cast. They knew they wanted a young actor. They wanted an actor that can pull it off in terms of physically. He needed to be looking the part. So they offered it to Will Smith. I mean, he could. He does look the part, but he vehemently declined. Then it was offered, and he accepted Puff Daddy or P. Diddy or
Sean Combs.
Diddy Combs or whatever you want to call the guy. And again, as soon as pre-production started, they realized, oh no, we've made a mistake. The guy can't throw. Or more like all the NFL players that were on shoot said he throws like a girl, which oddly enough, really weird, but also very accurate.
Sanders, that's the reason why he couldn't throw. The balls were always covered in baby oil.
Yeah, exactly. But also, other than that, Diddy also had a large entourage coming to everywhere he went to.
Oh, God,
also on set.
Nightmare.
And Al Pacino at one point came to Stone and was like, if that entourage is there, I am not in this movie. So he was vehemently fired. And then so they went to Cuba Gooding Jr. So they thought about going to Cuba Gooding Jr. They didn't really offer it to him. They wanted to clear it with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers said no. He already played another football player in Jerry Maguire a couple of years before that in 96.
Yeah.
So they're like, the audience are going to be confused. You know how Hollywood types are.
Well, no, what they're going to think is this a sequel to Jerry Maguire when they see him in the trailers? Yeah.
It kind of doesn't fit with what Stone wanted to do as well. So they said, not him. So it wasn't even offered, but he was considered. And then the casting director, Mary Verinu, she brought up Jamie Foxx because she casted him on Booty Call. And she said that he's more than meets the eye.
I was waiting so much for that because a lot of mannerisms that you see with Beeman, especially when he talks to Vanessa in the bathroom scene. It's so reminiscent of In Living Color and Booty Call era Jamie Foxx.
Exactly. The Jamie Foxx show, that kind of era.
Yeah.
But Jamie Foxx he really wanted to be like a serious, like considered as a serious actor. It did help that he played high school football and he played as a QB, as a quarterback. And his audition was in the parking lot of Warner Brothers throwing a ball.
Please say he was throwing near a Buick.
No. To be determined, not specified. But he was throwing a ball and he runs some lines, but it was like, yeah, you're in. Right. Once production got into gear, they had issues with the NFL. Why there were issues with the NFL? The original plan was to have an actual NFL team. So the Miami Sharks were essentially written as the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
All the other opponents were supposed to be various teams that were an NFL team. So Minnesota would have been the Vikings. The Texans would have probably been the Houston Oilers at the time, or was it after the Texans? I don't even remember. Probably still the Oilers at the time, 98. I don't remember. Doesn't even matter. The NFL said, okay, but we need to sort all the various details. One of the details that it was a line that should not be crossed is you will submit the script to us and we will approve it. And if it's not to our liking, this will not be approved. And Oliver Stone said, well, fuck you then. I'm going home.
Yep.
Because nobody tells me what to put in my movie. Oilers moved to Tennessee and eventually became the Titans in like 94. Yeah.
No, I think he's referring to the Houston Texans.
No,
Paul,
that's a different variation. No, the Texans was like 2007, 8.
Yeah, but obviously the Dallas Saints were supposed to be the Cowboys. But yeah, that's.
I could have been the Cowboys. Yeah. Could have been the Cowboys. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? So the NFL was requiring final approval on the script. Oliver Stone said, no way. Nobody's fucking with my movie. Not ever again.
Is that also why he had to refer to it as the Pantheon Cup, not the Pantheon Bowl?
Yes.
Okay, I figured. I figured it had to do with that, and also like the college too. Any bowl games, I figured that would be a tie-in as well.
So what they did was they modeled the entire league as a league that is running parallel to the NFL, just as much as the American Football League in the 70s and 80s was during that time, where it was so
like the NBA and the was it ABA too?
It kind of, yeah. But yeah, there was a league at the time which was like the double A's to the triple A's in baseball kind of a deal. But
that's what I was that's what I was kind of curious about. I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought that they mentioned how they mentioned the AFFA, but with how much money was being spent, I'm like,
it seems
doesn't
like
make any sense for a AAA team.
Yeah,
that would be that much money. No.
Yeah, exactly. Now there was a mention of the Dolphins when like Pagliacci and the mayor were talking about the stadium.
Yes,
but that was kind of the only mention. Kind of put the audience in mind to say that the Dolphins are there. It's just this league is like a side thing. So they live in the same universe, but they're not mixing the two. Now, the NFL actually put out a league-wide memo for the teams not to work with this production at all. Like, beware, do not work
Gotcha.
with the production. The thing is, the production kind of work behind the scenes with some of the teams, the 49ers, the Cowboys. They were spending time in the locker rooms, essentially, kind of gathering information, making sure everything was authentic.
Yeah.
Not different storylines, but stories and moods and behaviors that was going on in the locker room would have been front and center when they portrayed the locker room stuff. So the Gator story was real and a myth all at the same time.
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay? It's more a myth, an urban legend, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
But Stone liked it so much that he had to include a real life version of it. And
Just
also
to throw it in there.
because this is Miami, this is Florida.
Yeah.
And Gators and
And
Florida.
obviously it was Madman. It was the one that brought it into.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an aside, Becky asked about Miami Vice, the movie. That's the one with Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell, correct?
Yes.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was kind of a Bad Boys ripoff, to be honest.
No comment.
Yeah, it felt that way.
No. Now, the thing about it is they were supposed to shoot in Dolphin Stadium. They did not shoot in Dolphin Stadium.
No, they shot where they always shoot the Orange Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Orange Bowl. That's where they shot
somewhere
it.
else in Texas too, right?
Yes. The Knights Stadium was actually the Texas Stadium, which was the former Dallas Cowboys Stadium. They already moved by that point.
Yeah.
To the new stadium. Again, after the dynasty. Right after the dynasty. While everything was going on, and to save on money because the budget was kind of tight, Oliver Stone actually had a camera and shot a lot of B-rolls, like crowd work, sideline stuff that the actors didn't actually, they didn't pay attention. So he shot a lot of that. Just so it'll have a lot of material to edit between everything. So a lot of the time when you see crowd work, it's just extras that were in there. Just, it's actually some of them were like free. Come and watch the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They were shooting real games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They had full days where they shot a real game that took all day. Cowboys didn't move until 2008. So it's the Cowboy Stadium, I guess. So he got a lot of B-roll shots from just while they were shooting other things. Right. So LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx actually had a real life altercation when they had that sideline brawl. It was a real brawl. The thing about it is LL Cool J really smacked Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx was annoyed. And LL Cool J said, "Well, I'm just improving."
I said, "Wait."
And
did
Fox
Jamie Foxx say something about his wife?
I don't know.
That's that.
You got me there. You got me there. And Jamie Foxx said, "That's fine to do an ad lib and an improv. Just tell me beforehand so I'll be ready for it." And Cool J said, "No problem." And then he did it again, and then they really had
a problem. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
As an aside too, what's interesting is the fact that LL Cool J is actually one of the nicest people I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. Met up at the Detroit airport at 4:30 in the morning on my flight back on an international flight. He walked in, he had a whole crew behind him. I just see all these girls from working at like different staffing at different actual terminals coming to try to get pictures. I just went, "Hey man, can I just get a picture real quick?" He was like, "Yeah, no problem, man."
Nice. You need to show me that picture, by the way.
Nice dude.
The thing about it is LL Cool J wrote and performed the opening credits song for last week's movie, Wildcats. A song that was never publicly released and was never on the soundtrack. But if you want more information, go last week. Watch
What's
it.
interesting, we've read across a lot of films that we reviewed. We're like, the film, the song that the film is really known for is not even on the soundtrack. Like,
Yeah. By the way, the song, the Any Given Sunday song, was on the soundtrack.
okay, good.
Also, a DMX song that I cannot say the name of. It is
Nope.
my N-words.
Yeah, because it's like because I had my speakers up because I walked to the other room and it's just nah.
And then my
DMX, rest in peace.
Rest
my friend,
in peace.
But seriously.
The thing about the entire shooting of the movie was actually a little bit revolutionary because the whole shaky cam model of it wasn't a new thing, but it was used in a different way. Oliver Stone really loved the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan. He loved the greeniness of it. He loved the shaky cam, actual I'm there in the field with these soldiers kind of a feel.
Yeah.
And he said that to a cinematographer, and the cinematographer was like turned on to it. So they had various cameras actually attached to players that were like, some of them, it looked like somebody attached like a cart.
Oh yeah. It was,
And then it was in the back.
Yeah.
It looks gnarly, but you can still run and move with it, and the camera kind of darts around. That's how you get those different shots. And when there's moments where there's like slow motion, but it with this rumble to it. It's sort of he wanted to depict how much of a gladiator war type thing that is going on the field. That's why he called it like the football version of Platoon. Even started every day with Welcome to Vietnam, which is like so whack, and also maybe amounts of cocaine.
I would say what's interesting is, as you bring that up, is how even Harvey Mandrake, when he's fired, he's like, no, these guys are warriors, they're gladiators. Like, no, I did this because I already knew what his answer was going to be when it came to Shark. So yeah.
All right, we will have about an hour left to talk about the movie, but I have a few more points. The Ben-Hur ties
2 games, by the way.
Yeah, I know. The Ben-Hur version is tied into that. Also, because he knew he wanted to include the Ben-Hur playing in the back while D'Amato was talking to Beeman, they went to Charlton Heston to be the commissioner and have a cameo to emphasize the fact that yesterday's heroes, as in Ben-Hur, are today's the establishment in the commissioner. It was all done deliberately. The party scene. What can go? Okay. The speech scene. Al Pacino was actually nervous on doing the scene, and Jamie Foxx is the guy who gave him a pep talk, and he said, "Look, you're the coach, and some of these guys grew up with like homes with no father. So the coach is always the father figure.
Yep.
So you have to bring your entire gravitas to it. They will just be mesmerized to whatever you're saying. Just say it with a authoritarian tone, and you'll capture the room. Because remember, a lot of the people there are actually NFL football players.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, just that one character, like it's an African American guy, a bigger dude. But he is just like, his face is shaking and his eyes are like bulging out. Like he is jazzed the fuck up.
Yeah, completely. So they shot the thing 4 times from 4 different angles. Each angle was a one take for Pacino. He nailed every single one on the first take, full speech, front to back. 4 times.
He did and
they just smash cut it. That's it.
Well, but he did Satan's speech in The Devil's Advocate the same exact way. Yeah.
Yes, but it wasn't one take. It's broken down into 3, I think.
Yes.
It's broken into 3. This one does the same exact spot, same exact speech, 4 different angles. One from the back, one from the front where it's wide, one from the front focused on his face, and one from the player's perspective. You only see the players, but he is actually standing behind the camera saying the speech from front to back, while you see Cap looking
Just
at him. That
shots,
guy who was intense, that was the same take. Willie Beeman coming closer to the camera, same take. It was all done one speech at a time, 4 times.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we mentioned this 5.5 hour original cut down to reasonable 2.5 hours of actual release. It was released December 22nd of 1999. Same weekend as Man on the Moon, Galaxy Quest, and Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yep.
And it was number 1 on the weekend.
Yep. Paul, you were right. That's Madman, is Andrew.
It was done on a 55 million budget, and it grossed 100 million box office worldwide. It made way more than that in DVD sales. Way more.
I was going to say too, the differential between what is considered the theatrical cut and director's cut. We talked about that. It's the same movie. I don't know why they call it the director's cut, because it's still 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Yeah.
But the 5-hour cut would explain the massive differential between randomly the scores just change out of nowhere.
Yeah. I don't know. All right,
because they actually again did full actual guy. So we're doing
they did
scrimmages, and we're running a full game essentially here.
They had, like I said, the first game. Oh, I don't remember if I said it backstage or not. The first shot, the first game you see where Beeman replaces Cap and all that stuff, that was supposed to be an hour of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's play our first game of the night, because damn, it's 55 minutes in. It is Missing Marquee.
Before you start with the spiel, any single time I go long on behind the screens, you shut your mouth.
I never had any problems with it. Dude, last week there was less than a page of stuff.
Oof.
There was nothing on that movie. Nothing.
Anyway, to the spiel.
Anyway, Missing Marquee, 10 posters of movies have their text written off. We display them, and you guys in the chat will have to guess which movie this is. They're all pretty easy. We are on ultra low latency mode. Please, let's do this quickly. I think we will do a very, very short other game, or not at all.
One of my favorite George Carlin roles.
It is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is the first one.
Yes. This is numero uno, right?
Yes, this is the number 1. This is the first one. We've got it. Cars, and cars. Yes, everybody knows this game. This could be one of 2. It came out same year.
The same year, within 2 weeks too.
Within 2 weeks.
It was so bad.
And I didn't like any of them.
It's the one that is lesser known. And
it is not The Knowing, but it is Deep Impact. We just talked about this movie. Becky, you have to know this one. Keely Chow's, this is Armageddon. No. Becky, what is this? But Sanders got it, but she's on listen mode most of the time, so I'm okay with it. It is Miami Vice. I need to punch in because it's hard to see. Yeah, there we go. You know, this is 1984.
Gabe's already got it.
Yep, it is Gambit. Of course, this is Real Genius. Genius Kid. It is Real Genius.
Oh, this is one of the remakes, isn't it?
Not a remake. He replaced the famous actor
Well, it's a
in the role, and
reimagining,
then the famous
essentially.
actor returned.
Yes, it's bad, but yeah. Hey, extorts.
I'll give it a pass because it's not Born Identity. This is the Born Legacy. But they all have really similar and very deceptive names. I will give it a pass.
Yeah.
Sander has got it exactly. It is the
Born
something. Yes. It's a Born movie. Yes.
His name is Kaiser Soze.
His name is Kaiser Soze.
Gabriel Byrne is fantastic in that movie too.
For a long time, I never liked this movie at all. The individual actors I love.
Yeah.
I don't like the movie.
It is The Usual Suspects.
It is The Usual Suspects. Correct. I told you one's easy.
Yeah. Oh God, this movie's so bad.
This movie sucks.
If you're not aware, just think of Disneyland and Part of the Park.
This was supposed to be what Epcot was supposed to be. It is Tomorrowland, correct?
Paul, they were.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, Epcot's way better though.
Now this is an Oliver Stone movie,
and this is a great movie that we talked about, featuring a lot of cocaine.
Becky, it's like I was putting the towels away. No worries. It's okay. It's fine just to listen. It is Wall Street. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. This is Wall Street. Correct.
We had a great chat about that one too.
Yeah.
Remember, this is another one of those films that had a bait and switch in it.
Yep. The bait was we get to see Neve Campbell with her first sex scene, and it was like, yes, but not really. Yep. It is Wild Things. Do. You make my heart sing. All right, cool. Let me go there and there. Well, let me bring up the movie. Okay. So we have about an hour to talk about a movie that is 2.5 hours long, just as long as The Dark Knight, by the way. So we are going to skip a lot.
We got a speed
run this, but we're going to touch the main points. Now, the main point in the first, let's say 45 minutes, okay? Let's call it the first half an hour of the movie. The first half an hour of the movie is essentially that first game. So it starts off with Cap getting smushed. We kind of realize this is a team, the Miami Sharks. They're down and out. They're already on a 3-lose streak. This is like, it's do or die time. Or this is like their 2, and once they lose this game, it's the 3rd.
Yeah, they're on 3 losses. This would be their 3rd loss.
This would be their 3rd. Okay.
Yeah, but if they lose this and one more, then they're out of playoff contention. So yeah,
So the whole thing is, and they have about 3 more games other than this, plus a bye week. And it's a team that was formerly great. Not this particular team, but the same coach and the same QB already won the Pantheon Cup, which is their version of the Super Bowl or their version of the championship. And now, not only that the first quarterback is down, the second quarterback gets
the second string. Also, like, I love how he is just the consummate, also like white dude who has not played at all in like 10 years. And they bring him in and he just fucks up and he gets his shit rocked immediately. Yeah.
And then we have the third string quarterback, the guy who never expected even to play.
He's sitting there eating chips, reading the fucking newspaper.
The guy who is essentially a college football player that got drafted way low just because he was suspended, and now no team really wants to touch him. Not in the NFL, barely even in this fucking league, the AFFA league.
Which reminds me so much of I love the extended acronym, and it's never actually ever given what it stands for.
It does in the script, but they never actually say the
never
full
say
name.
it in the film. What's great too is just as a side, because it reminds me so much of how professional wrestling used to be before it got consolidated with all the like South Memphis, Texas wrestling, and like you could have all these different districts of everywhere doing the same thing. But obviously, the first I have to give the giant pop for the announcer saying, "Well, you know, it can happen on any given Sunday." Where I'm like, "That they said the thing."
Exactly. But it comes. They say the name quite a bit.
They say
which
it
is odd.
They say it here, and they say it at the very end of the film.
Yeah. No, there's one middle part. Never mind. It doesn't really matter.
But still, it's very, very, it's sparse in between. A 2.5 hour film, it's sparse.
Yeah, for sure.
But I will say, just the best part is the in between while they're actually at halftime. You have LT mocking him.
Yes.
Like, are you trying to throw to the other team? I mean, what are you doing, man? We have Madman who's already talking about like the Vicodin he needs, the steroids he needs, and then we have
that little conversation between the James Woods character, the orthopedic surgeon, and the young intern Matthew Modine about what to give them, what not to give them. This is in the middle of play. They have that back and forth. It's sort of an introduction to this entire team while the play is going on. And at the end of it, when they lose, they bring in this chaplain. That's like,
I gotta say, what has to be the best bit though was during that halftime speech before they lose. Was during that speech when Julian stands up and puts his hands up and just goes, "I didn't want you to be the only pussy with your hand up, coach."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a great line.
Yeah.
That's a great line. That's good.
Yeah. It's like, there's nobody to blame but you guys who fucked up. No,
it's like, listen, hey, if anyone wants to be a pussy, fucking leave. Put your hand up. That's what he stands up.
Yeah. And we do see, like, later on, I like the fact that the chaplain says, "Well, this is my playbook." He brings in the Bible.
Like, the Bible.
Well, I guess. But this is after the game where you see sort of the aftermath. One is this scene where you can definitely see him really, really hurt. But he keeps saying, "Well, I can manage. I'll make the playoffs." And
it was the same thing too when he got really, like, his spine got it basically ruptured his disc in his back. So
and on the other,
it was James would go like, "We're on camera right now. Do you want me to have to pick you up?"
Yeah. And it's like, do you want me to call an ambulance right now, or do you want to walk?
That,
like,
the
stop being a pussy. Yeah.
Yeah, where it goes to again with Beeman. There he's talking to his mom. And he's like, "Look, Mom, you can see me on TV." The first shot is him throwing up.
Yeah.
Like,
and like all throughout this movie, there's small little bits of comedy, which is sort of like they weren't maybe not trying to make it comedic, but it's really hilarious. Now, the whole Gator thing was fucking hilarious.
Well, a lot of the locker room shit is what happens in locker rooms. It's banter and bullshit.
The LT sawing Beeman's car in half because
Tahoe would have with a chainsaw.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, that's another thing. But Keeley has a good point there. Had the XFL been successful, oh boy. I still want I want an entire documentary about the first initiation and version of the XFL and why the fuck Vince McMahon thought it was a good idea to try to bring it back a second time.
Because Vince McMahon is a crazy billionaire.
Yeah, I think he's just a crazy person in general. But
yeah. Yeah, kind of. Um, there's uh there's that moment in the bar because, like I said, there's several different storylines happening throughout this movie. It's
Mhm.
very broken up because it needs to follow every sort of special individuals like LT and Julian and Beeman and Cap and D'Amato and Pagliacci and the doctors. It's all a big mix, and you have to give everybody a little bit of time, not because they're supposed to, like, they're actors and they need lines, but you need to know a little bit of information because it does
'Cause
coalesce into
it
the
has to be,
entire
yeah,
team.
because it has to be a cohesive narrative. Because without certain pieces, it doesn't make any sense. Because without all the doctor story, the bit about Shark, and the lengths that the team is willing to go to don't make really that much sense.
Yeah, and that bar scene where he's approached by a hooker, where he realizes she's a hooker when she says, "Well, it's $1,000 a night or more if you want me to stay the whole night."
Well,
And
that
he's like,
it's like her character's name is Mandy, and I just find it funny that that's Elizabeth Berkley, who's coming
"Yes,
off of a very different
she
role.
could not get work."
Yeah.
She could not get work. And the only work she's got is yet taking her clothes off yet again. Which, she said she doesn't really mind the nudity in this movie because they weren't having sex or
I
anything.
would
It
say it
was,
was tastefully done.
yeah, yeah. Nobody sprinkled cocaine on them
Well,
like
because there
at
is
the
a straight up
party.
scene where it's Julian doing it. He just does straight a rail off a girl's
Yeah.
tits. So I mean,
Yeah, but and at this point, this is just to give you the how much Tony D'Amato sacrificed. He even talking to his ex-wife about their children and their grandchildren, and in fact, there's nobody on the other line.
yeah.
He is so drunk, he is talking to a non-existent ex-wife.
Well, because he finally gets it at the end. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and dial again.
Yeah,
Ah, shit.
and you realize, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move forward a little bit because we have that whole conversation between D'Amato and Pagliacci, and this is several times that happens where Tony and what's her first name? Christina?
Yeah.
Christina. Tony and Christina are at odds because Christina is very business minded, and she literally gets the team dropped on her because her dad died. And now she has to navigate everything. Plus, she wants to do it on her own.
On her own terms. And also
And
the way that she's also already ready to fire Tony to bring Nick, who is played by Aaron Eckhart, a very,
Yeah.
very young Aaron Eckhart. But
I actually
already,
loved him in that role.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
But bring him on as the coach, and that's really played off throughout the film with Nick's general discontent about how he's like,
yeah.
This old man is telling me how to run shit, but like I could run circles around him.
And he's not only discontent with that, he's also discontent with the fact that he's calling offensive plays, and Willie is like doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Because he's throwing fucking audibles out of nowhere, where it's like,
yeah. He's like 66 Black Star, and Julian's like,
everyone's
what
like,
the fuck
that's not a fucking
Black?
play.
Yeah. And all throughout the Minnesota game, he throws a lot of like calls from nowhere, and D'Amato is so fucking furious. Like, you run the plays, I call. Yeah. But the problem is when he calls plays, they don't work. It's like I said, it's the old school versus the new school. And this is a time in football where this discussion was happening in football because the old guard was a Troy Aikman and Elway on Montana. They were all at the very end. Some of them retired, some of them were about to be retired. And the new generation is about to take over. Even like people like Drew Bledsoe were at the end of their run, and who's coming after Bledsoe?
Yeah,
yeah. It's It's right before the Peyton Mannings and the all the new generation. The Michael Vicks were about to be unleashed into the world, right?
Yeah.
It's the cusp of the late 80s, early 2000s where it's the beginning of sort of that revolution of more passes, less runs, right? And yeah, and eventually it doesn't go very well until it actually does.
I was to say, just as the interim, I did like the dichotomy they put there after the Sharks game versus Chicago, where they win.
Yeah.
That they have that whole kind of that meeting of where it's the charity auction with Dare, and they give the check to the mayor and everything, and like the setup in the side too, where how Christina Pagliacci, even though she is like a cruel and cutthroat woman, there is a reason why she's all about it, because she's trying to preserve the team and trying to do what's best for the team. And if the team has to move somewhere else, like again, right there, the stadium's falling apart. Like, we need funding. We need a new stadium. We have to do this.
Yeah, and she has that conversation before this entire thing with this. I forgot the name of that old guy. He's in like a lot of stuff. He's a great
investors. Yeah.
Character actor. They're talking about moving to LA, and then it comes at the very end of the movie where she talks about it she doesn't talk about it with the commissioner, but then the commissioner kind of calls her out about, all the owners are gathering up to talk
because we heard you were talking some shit about making a move, and you can't do that without us having a good chat. So yeah. But along that line too, it's the declination of the relationship that Willie had with his girlfriend Vanessa. And it's like that was his last kind of tie, where he has that kind of almost socio-disordinative kind of break, where he becomes now just self-involved and completely about his own ego. And it's being fed by the media and everyone around him, just feeling the fact like, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best.
Yeah. He's the new hot stuff. He's the new it guy. And it all goes to his head. And that dichotomy between the old and the new is like, what are you listening? I'm listening to rap. It's like, oh, I know rap. Do you know old school? And this is what got me.
Because did he mention like Trick Daddy? Oh yeah, I know him. Like, no, you don't, sir.
And he mentions all the old school guys like Miles Davis and all that stuff. And I was like, this Jamie Foxx role actually landed him later down the line, the Ray role.
Yeah.
This is the first role that people kind of saw Jamie Foxx doing a serious dramatic role, and they were like, oh, interesting. What else can you show us? And yeah, he did Miami Vice, and he did other sort of blockbustery kind of stuff, sort of popcorn movie stuff, but he also wanted to do some real dramatic shit, and he got to do it with Ray. And this is the movie that kind of pushed him into the Ray role down the line.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So after the flight and the game, there's already the setup there. There's that confrontation between Beeman and Julian. And there's obviously the animosity already there, because Julian's trying to be the star, trying to get his, again,
the bonus
whole bit about the bonus and the Reebok commercial deal and shit. And also how Beeman fucks it up by being selfish.
Yes.
Because he ends up fumbling the ball. And there is also just that bit right after that is, I love this too. If you can pan just as an aside, it's James Woods as Harvey hitting on the cheerleaders.
Yeah, it's there.
And the corruption that eventually ekes in on every single side of everyone else. Because what happens to Ollie, the other good doctor, is at the very end of the film, who's he chatting up?
The same girl.
Well, different cheerleader.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
but it's still, it's like, oh, see,
I had it for a second. I
it's
think
coming,
you
coming
saw
there.
it.
It was the
It's
same thing too, where when Shark asked him for another shot, it's like, what can it hurt, Doc? It's like, but you don't need
that
one.
comes
No,
that comes
but it's
later.
right before that. But it's the corruption already sinking in, where it's clear that he gave him that extra shot.
Oh, for sure.
And then now
For
he's
sure.
hitting on the cheerleaders too, just like Harvey.
Yeah, and it's that thing of it's a sort of a circular thing, and it's sort of a I want to say self
Fulfilling prophecy.
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of James Woods, because he said all that thing about them being gladiators and they don't know anything, and he was about to say you will do the same, but
Yeah.
he didn't.
Because he cut
But
himself
it's
off. Yeah.
to me it was always implied
Yep.
that Matthew Modine was going to get there. He's just too new, too green, too sort of unaware. But then when he had the reins, because he wasn't an intern anymore, when he had the full reins, he would do exactly the same thing.
And he did.
And it happened.
And what's just at the very end of that game too, at the Sharks win, the celebration is the machine gun one.
Oh, yeah, that was
laughed out loud. Do you know why?
Please tell me why.
It reminded me of one film.
Which one?
In one film that said the declination of sports and how teams travel here over there and now they're combining sports.
What?
Basketball. Because basketball mocked the giant the halftime the touchdown performance and everything by having them all do river dance.
The thing about it is there are two celebrations that were essentially that one. It's the throwing of the grenade and then everybody lies down dead. And the machine gun one, those were not allowed by the NFL at some point. They were like, this is a...
Oh, yeah. It's excessive celebration. Yeah. It's a penalty. Yeah.
It's not... I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's a fine, not a penalty.
I think it's both now.
It could be, maybe.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Why aren't they allowed to celebrate? It's so dumb. It's just
the whole
so
bit
dumb.
too with again the locker room scene where it's just like dick.
This is after the thing, and you kind of mentioned this part about the fact that Matthew Modine sends Luther, LT's character, he wants to send him to the MRI because of just a series of concussions.
No, he gets the results. That's
this is before the results.
No, I know. No, but Harvey is the one that sends him to get the MRI. It's just that Ali is the one that gets the results, and Ali is the one that shares the result to Tony. Because Harvey just kind of pushes it under the rug with that whole that conversation with Christina later on that they haven't filmed in the background. But it's still because even there is a line in there where it's kind of personal to me just because it reminds me of our conversations. Because instead of you, he's just you dirty motherfucker.
I think this is important. In the XFL, the players were allowed to do the DX crouch chop.
You'd have to. Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
Well, I will say I did love the juxtaposition between the Jack Rose interview and then they just out of nowhere they just play the Beeman. It's a song, but it's also an MX commercial.
Metrex. Yeah.
Which now is MX, I do believe, but yeah.
This one. It's a lot at this point. And this is a credit to Oliver Stone, the weird jump cutting from one area to another. We see from this point into them competing in practice to a full-on conversation between D'Amato and Christina, and then the actual LT MRI that was done to something else, to Julian's head wound gets sewn, and then he mentions the fact that
listen, I know I'm getting a plastic surgeon. I can call him tonight. You motherfucker.
Yeah, he looks at the camera. It's like, oh, motherfucker. And it's all combined with this entire interview where it just jumps from here to there. And you realize, yeah, this is coming off 1 loss and 2 back-to-back wins. And we're going into a bye week where there's no game at all. And there's just so much hype so fast that he just becomes a raving egomaniac.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And on the side too, we get then the story of Cap and his wife.
Yeah.
It's just like his wife is just on the sidelines where, again, it's the rise of Willie, and all the kids are asking for Willie's signature. And also, he gets to say one certain line, and his wife saying, "You should have fought for that."
Yeah.
But Cap is adamant about playing again, and then there's just that bit of the almost kind of side conspiracy to keep him out of the game, to keep Beeman in, just because he has all the buzz.
That's between Christina
and Harvey
and the James Woods character, where they have this conversation, and she literally tells him, look, Cap's out, Shark's in.
Well, the thing too is the fact that it is how cutthroat she is about it, saying, well, I don't know if Shark will be able to play. It was like, well, just keep him through to the playoffs. And after that, she goes, brass tacks, we're going to cut him during the offseason. And no one's going to pick up a $2 million
head case. Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Because she's concerned. No.
About the bottom line,
she's concerned about the money, like you said. She's very concerned about her own pocket.
But so,
and again, this is all during the party where it jumps to D'Amato, and you see the D'Amato story advances just a little bit, where he does give in to paying the prostitute, but then he falls in love with her, and he's like, why don't we do something, more regular? And she immediately, without even questioning, I have a few clients like that.
No, she goes, well, she thinks about, she thinks that he's saying, well, let's set this up as an ongoing kind of date, girlfriend experience sort of situation. And she goes, no. What about if it's without money? You don't want to do that.
Yeah. And now there was a setup to this, because Shark was showering next to Beeman.
He's gonna make you jump a lie. It's gonna be the worst thing you ever fucking hate in your whole goddamn life.
But make sure you bring flowers. And I was like, that's kind of an odd thing.
And he brings carnations.
Okay. What is a sign of death? What? I don't know.
No, they're just super fucking cheap ass flowers.
For sure.
Dude, what the
Now, the thing about the interview, and it comes up in this conversation, and you mentioned it earlier, the fact that Beeman is sort of taking that angle of, I'm a black man and we've always been oppressed. And when you see a black man, like a successful young black man, you like jump on him. And D'Amato's like, dude, I've been in this for 30 years. My players were like all races. How are you accusing me of racism? This is insane. It's like, he tries to get Beeman to understand that he's a leader of a team. He's a part of a team. He's not an individual. And Beeman is going into like ultra defensive mode, and all the gripes that he was done, all the college stuff comes into this conversation about the $300
That's the thing that I mentioned before, was the disparity of how it was then compared to how it is now, where that is open and honest, and it's out there. Where it's like also like back then, college players did not transfer from a university to play for a different university every other year. This shit happens all the time now. And they're getting paid a lot of fucking money to do it.
And the issue is the fact that he's like, I'm going to run with Cap, and immediately he gets accused of being an out-of-date coach, and he doesn't know the game, and the game has passed him, and he doesn't know anything, and you're so old school, you're old, blah, blah, blah. And to me, it was like, dude, if this was real, you would have been fired.
Yeah, you've been done
immediately.
Yeah,
Nobody would even consider you at all.
Nope.
I
want to say, just as an aside, too, just because it's the great setup and payoff of how LT the jambalaya is awful. You know, like, so what do you think? It's hot. And then at the end, how he brings him back to reality is with that joke. So what do you think about that jambalaya? That's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my fucking life. Yeah. I thought so. I think he gets his head back in the game at the very, very like finale of the entire film. It's great.
Yeah. But then he goes to the party because he was invited to the party, and I can't show most of it because let's face it.
The most important part about it, though, is that he's still in his own head and his ego is so goddamn huge. He's talking shit openly about everybody on the team.
Yeah. And he's like, yo. Fucking Shark will, if he hears that, he will kill you.
Yeah.
And then he hears that and he doesn't kill him, but he kills his car. Well, he slices it.
He cuts a Chevy Tahoe in half.
Which I found fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Which,
but Paul, then of course
that is the crazy thing, right?
And the next game is like, they don't give a fuck.
We don't give a fuck
this
about
game. They set this up quite like before this game starts. They set this up as they've already made the playoff before the bye week. This is home field advantage.
No, this is for home field advantage, and they get a bye week in the playoffs, so they don't have to actually play the first wild card round.
It doesn't mean it really matter, but the fact of the matter is, sort of this game doesn't really mean anything if they win or lose. So if they lose, nothing really happens. They still make it to the playoffs. They just have to go through another hurdle. So they take advantage and they just take it out on Beeman, where he just get demolished by the defense because they allow them to run through. Just because to teach him a lesson, because they didn't have to kick his ass on their own. They just have to
they just let everybody else kick the shit out of him because anyone else wants to anyway. So, what's great too is just the fight between Julian and Beeman there. Yeah. And it's just Tony's irate speech, and as you mentioned too, just with how in so many ways Tony is their surrogate father figure.
Yes.
And how he says, like, this isn't even my fucking team anymore. I don't even know who you are. Like that disappointment from your father figure, like the only one a lot of these guys have ever had, hurts so much more than any other words anyone could ever say to him. And this, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I know this is like the cut to this next one. I love this juxtaposition between the two. Because again, we have Monty being like, I'm done. I'm going to go coach high school football because at least those kids love the game.
It's so interesting that they use Jim Brown to do that line, because Jim Brown was involved in like getting like young, like sort of gang related youth to come and play football and actually graduate from high school, so they'll have something that they can do, not to go professional, not to go into college like professional, but it takes them off the street So he was involved in football organizations. He was involved, I think he was involved in baseball stuff. That
Yes, and
one I'm
also,
not sure, but definitely boxing. He had
yeah,
like
boxing a
UC,
lot.
yeah.
And I don't think you guys have the overseas, but the Boys and Girls Club, he was a real big part of in that. So, and a lot of like underprivileged areas, that's where a lot of people, like a lot of kids, would go after school if they had nowhere else to go.
Yes, Paul. And he says it. The game is still pure at that
Yep.
level where
Yeah.
they don't play. Essentially, it's the gripe about money. And I think this comes from actually from Oliver Stone, where if you've seen Wall Street, that is a whole kind of an addendum to greed is good, and his whole stuff about being a lot of things are way too corporatized, too much money is involved, and it ruins the purity of the thing. And it doesn't matter which thing it is. In this case, this is football, but it ruins the purity of the thing, the love of the game, the stuff that you play for beyond just the money. It's the fun. And D'Amato's, he mentions that the players, he said it at the very end of the movie. He talks to Beeman and he says, do you know what? I knew a quarterback that retired, and he said that the thing he loved the most was the 11 guys that are looking at him, looking back at him, and the camaraderie rather than just the money that is involved. Yeah. And that is that pure distilled motion of playing with other guys, especially in a brutal game like this, a very brutal sport like this. And yeah, that whole conversation. And then of course that LT thing. Or shark thing.
The shark. This entire scene is heartbreaking. Because I do believe that Tony was not going to give him that until he says, no, coach, I give you 13 years of my life. Just give me one more game. And football is my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really made Tony decide to let him just play that one last game. Like, you have to sign a waiver. I will sign anything you want. It was like, I could be shaking like a coconut on a tree. I don't care.
and he says it. I would shake on a coconut, shake like a coconut tree for $1 million. Yeah. And essentially, like, I need 3 tackles and a sack, and I get my $1 million bonus. It's like, oh my God, you will literally die for that money.
Yeah, because that's what Ollie, the Matthew Modine's character, flat says, like, well, permanent bouts of just random seizures, you could be paralyzed, or you could just flat out just die.
Yeah.
If you land wrong.
And I think D'Amato was on the side of, yeah, I really should not play shark at all. Yeah. And he takes it out on James Woods.
Look, because like, Ollie says, I need to talk to you about Harvey. And that's when he walks up to like, you evil motherfucker, you.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is where James Woods said, look, these are gladiators. They would die on this field to play the game. And this is also kind of coming from a pure standpoint rather than money standpoint of they want to spill their guts on this field regardless, because all they want is to win and be the warrior that they are. And there is something to it, but it comes after a lot of really sad shit, like really sad shit. Really horrible shit done to these players. I was going to say,
in the interim, though, they did put that little bit of levity, like right after this with Cap at practice, and that one little kid walking up to Julian just talking the most shit to him. Like,
yeah,
that's what my dad says. Like, you afraid you're going to get hurt?
I think there was a running back that was just like Julian. I think he's called Sanders or something, that had the same attitude, that he was playing for
Barry
his.
Sanders was like that? Really?
Yeah. Barry Sanders was. let's just say rumors. Rumors that when he played for Detroit, he was playing for yards, and he didn't really care because he knew the team stinks. But that whole point, and it kind of ties in again. It ties in with the Jim Brown confrontation with D'Amato in that bar of like, I'm gonna manage high school guys, and that is that feeling, and that is what Oliver Stone was trying to highlight. I think to how I see it, he was trying to highlight how good this game is because he loves football, he loves that game, and he hated that whole money mentality, which kind of ties into the Moneyball thing, but a whole different angle and way before Moneyball for sure.
Oh yeah. I would say right after this too, we have I think the next best scene that Lawrence Taylor got. This is phenomenal. Whereas you don't realize like you need a life out of this. If you don't, right there.
Now, Jamie Williams, the tight end, 49ers, one of the people who were on set and was written some of the script uncredited, said that the most real, the most authentic was this conversation. Now, it doesn't necessarily happen in the steam room, but he said that in all teams, every year, there's the old guy talking to the new guy, explaining this entire point that older guys realize at some point, yeah, you're just a little cog in a machine. You might be one of the greatest, whatever, linebackers, the greatest tacklers, the greatest, I don't know, cornerbacks ever in this game. Yet you're still a tiny cog in this entire machine of people who are trying to win championships and trying to win games, essentially.
And it's also at the very end of the day, you have to remember, you can get cut anytime. You could tear your ACL
cut, traded, or just end your career.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. My ears were burning up.
You need to get a new headset, bud.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
But I think that again, Lawrence Taylor just came in and just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, for sure. Because he's not an actor, no. But when it came down to him actually acting, that scene was fucking great. It's so dark and so truthful.
Well, that and the same thing too with when he's in the office with Tony, where it feels like he has had that conversation before. So it's like he was method acting in the most sincere possible way.
It was a bit too real.
Yes.
You could believe that the real LT had that conversation.
Yeah.
Somewhere in his career.
Definitely.
Yeah. And there's this conversation that kind of
apparently at Dan Marino's mansion, that's a side note I did not know, but that's that's such a nice touch. But Kathy even say like, you know what, I don't think I can do this anymore. And what's so sad and almost pathetic about it is he said, there's some days I can't even hold a spoon.
Yeah, and it's something that was said by many players.
Yeah.
That have played a long time in the NFL. And it cuts to once he kind of agrees, it's Cindy smacking him in the face.
I hate this woman so much because this is her husband saying every single, like, people have told me what to do my entire fucking life. I'm trying to get out of this before I die. And you're like, no.
It's like, it's my decision. It's not your decision. It's like, oh, kick this bitch. Oh, right. You can't. He can't do it. He wants to quit the gym, but he can't quit the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
This is a series of really sad fucking scenes. Starts off in that bar, transitions into that steam room, and into this, like the scene where he is talking to D'Amato, into this scene where it's sort of really depicts the really dark side of the NFL. Because they're talking about this fantasy league, this league that doesn't exist. But essentially, this was supposed to be the NFL. This was supposed to be the Miami Dolphins, like a fake Miami Dolphins, but the Miami Dolphins.
But honestly, though, you could actually see, even though, because Dennis Quaid and Dan Marino look kind of alike, so you could actually just have Cap be not Jack Rooney, but that could be Dan Marino like that, and be like, yep, I could see it.
And LT could be. Or Shark is LT. Also LT.
Being LT, yeah.
LT. And the lines are pretty fucking blurred. Yeah. You can see it like that. That's why I think this hits hard. That's where the movie excels, where the lines are pretty distinct. These are not the real people, but it's still blurred where you might think it's the real people, but not really.
And see, what's great about this too is I think this was a really, really good way that Stone structured the screenplay to have this with Beeman at dinner with his manager and Beeman almost still sort of like right after this, to have a little bit of levity, but in the in between, there's still that bit of Beeman.
Barbara Bush, where have been all my life?
Right before this though, he already has concerns about his arm.
Yeah.
It's like,
when he talks to Vanessa and wants to get her back, it's like, look, I talked to them. My arm is really tight. It's like, yeah.
No, but the Barbara Bush thing was fantastic. Like she's looking
funny,
but it's like that's Jamie Foxx in Living Color, Booty Call, Jamie Foxx show, Jamie Foxx, and even at the end, it's like he might be tough, but you don't know how to ball. Little fade out from the women's bathroom, but again, that a bit of levity right before you get another gut punch, where essentially Christina goes, "My father at the end didn't respect you.
Yeah,
he thought you were a liability." But
she kind of is hinting on the fact that, I think my father was about to like fire your ass.
Yeah.
But he didn't because he died. And then I'm kind of stuck with you and I don't know enough, but now that I'm pretty confident, you do as I say or else.
And then we have another gut punch right after that, because Christina's in her father's office and she overhears her mother talking to Tony about,
because Tony actually thought she wasn't lying to him about the father, and he goes to the mother, played by Anne Margaret, and is like, did he really didn't believe in me? And she's like, I wouldn't know.
No, she flat out says, I hated you.
Yeah.
For years. And football the thing is, she makes it clear that football took everything from her. And how the fact that basically her husband and Christina's father saw Tony almost as a son. And that's all that Christina's father ever wanted was a son.
And what he got was a daughter, and he ruined that by making her into his son.
Yeah.
Which, it's psychologically, it kind of fits, especially when you're dealing with any type of sports, let alone this brutal sport. But yeah.
Then we have that little aside where Tony goes on his little drinking bit, playing with his rings, and he rips up Mandy's number.
Yeah, and that fake apology thing that he had to do.
It's the press apology tour that everyone has to go to, which I always love that when South Park did that, because there's always the side eye going back and forth.
And when he goes off camera, it's like, you're still a prick, or
no, he's walking by like, I'm surprised he didn't show up in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's a good line.
That's a really good line.
Really good line.
And you could tell the Ted McGinley character, he doesn't, he understands how things are moving.
Well, he's
doesn't
Jim Rome.
press him.
Yeah, he is an
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
So we have the setup to the final game. Shark
It's not
getting set up.
essentially the final game, but it's the only game that you see.
Yeah, it's the playoff game. It's the most
Yeah.
important one for their playoff berth. So we
And
have
the speech
Shark.
that is in my intro, because I had to put it in.
Yeah.
It's just so good. It's just so good.
And what's so great too is I think that really the last bit is right before this, where he rips the number. It cuts the team prepping, the press apology, and then with the bit with the cortisone shot that's Ali gives Shark.
Yeah, I wanted to get to this.
Yeah, that's right
Where
before the speech, and I think like this is where the second act ends, and the third act is the game. Starting with Tony's speech.
I get it. But yeah, that thing where Ollie looks at the syringe and
again, and later when he's hitting up that cheerleader, I'm like, he gave him that shot.
You know he gave him that shot. You know he gave him that shot because he went to play. Because if he didn't give him that shot, he wouldn't have gone to play, probably.
Well, he wouldn't have gotten that last tackle that got him his bonus. Like,
yep.
Hey, be careful. I'm worth $1 million. It's LT kills that, but yeah. This again, I think one of the best speeches in movie history.
Yeah. Life is just a game of inches.
Yep.
Take one at a time. It's so horrible that football halftime speeches have become such a, like I said, such a really main cliche in almost every football movie.
Yeah.
But even in the real game, where we don't let's say most of the people, even in the stadium, but most of the people who are watching at home on TV, they imagine this thing going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then going on to the second half, and it's essentially a new game because you've seen teams come back from the abyss. I mean, the Patriots came back from 28-0 in the Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because Tom Brady is just
well, Paul,
insane.
Newt Rockne and that entire history for Notre Dame, and also too, obviously Lombardi.
Yes. I think Lombardi was known for those halftime speeches. Yeah. And it came off in his old philosophy book about the game as well. He was such an iconic, influential character on the game. That's why the trophy is named the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Yeah. And it kind of is mimicking the spirit of that thing, and it's done so well. I've seen so many halftime pep talk speeches in basketball movies, in baseball not baseball movies, but in football movies. And it's always kind of in the same pattern, but this one kind of hits really hard because of all those dark scenes that we've seen that feels real and blur those lines. And then you have this scene, which is very cliche, but the impact of it is so fucking strong. It's just too good.
Why it really rings true is it's genuine to the character that is actually giving the speech. Because this isn't some
D'Amato himself.
Yeah, this isn't some white, clean cut, white collar dude. This is a guy who's seen some shit, who's been fucking a hooker, who misses his family, who has given up everything for the game, and he knows this is what I'm giving up everything for this.
Yeah, and it actually Beeman is in the back, and he moves forward into the camera while this thing is going on. Just because it's a nice little payoff, because at the very start of the movie, in the first game, he talks about you're going to give me this halftime speech and inspire me to do better. and I'll like
No, that was at
you'll capture me.
the dinner where it was like what like that speech you gave me the first game where you're like playing that ghetto shit where like throw it by the Buick. Yeah.
Yeah. And that speech is so compelling. It actually draws we'll call it the non-believer into believing in himself. And I had it written down. I didn't mention it before because I wanted to get to the movie. When they were done shooting this entire scene, people were so amped up. They were not going to play the game after the scene was shot, but they were almost to the point of let's fucking go.
Oh yeah.
So the people who are amped up, some of it was real people getting jazzed from that speech.
Well, what's great too is we have that third act turnaround for Beeman because it's Tony's speech that sets the groundwork. Then it's him watching Cap play and listening to him call plays that turns it completely around. Because even at the very end, it was like I learned more by watching him play 50 minutes of football than I have in 2 years.
Yeah. And it sort of sets the entire second half essentially. As soon as Cap is like, I wanted to, I'm done. And even D'Amato's like, Cap, you've done enough for us. Let Beeman take over.
I said the only thing I was going to say right before that was sorry, no, it's right after this. I was the touchdown too, and then that he obviously got his bell rung real hard, and then that bitch wife Cindy, now she looks concerned.
Yes,
fuck you.
Yes. And you can't really show it because you have to I have to play it. I can't really do it on stream, but
yeah,
you have to play it at this moment where the camera work really helps you can feel that disorientation. Mm-hmm. And then when you cut to his wife, like Cindy off, like in the stadium where even D'Amato is like, yeah.
Oh shit.
You can tell in the face, like, yeah, he's done. Like,
well, with the way too, he's standing up and holding the ball too, where it obviously he has no idea where he is.
Yeah. I mean, he's happy.
Yeah. Well, in his final game, he scored a touchdown by running it in. There it is. Yeah, you caught it right there.
Did that? She is happy, and then that realization, that smirk, that happy face, kind of. This is the moment where it kind of starts to disappear, and then she starts to sit down, and it's like, oh my God, I pushed my husband too far. It just went that point of no return. We got to that point.
Yeah. There is right before then too, the juxtaposition between this and Christina talking to the commissioner by Charlton Heston. And again, he has that line where I believe that woman would eat her young. Because it's such a great line, because it's so true. And then even Christina has a turnaround then as well, because she goes down after Cap gets hurt and tries to chastise Tony, but Tony had already talked to Beeman about basically bringing him in.
Yeah, he already went to Cap. Is like, Cap, you're done.
You're done.
He went to Beeman. Is like, you're gonna take over now. It's your show. Let's go. And she waltzes in and starts berating him as he was talking to Beeman.
And he goes, because I love that thing too, where it's like two parents fighting. They don't want to hear it, so they go into another room and close the door, but the kids are right behind the door.
Yeah. I mean, we can hear you.
Yeah. Never talk about you never do that to a head coach, because it takes away any gravitas or any kind of authoritarian role they have. It takes away any respect.
It's like, coach already said I'm going in. And it's like, I don't understand why you're fighting, mom and dad. And it's done so well that you can definitely imagine this thing happened in real life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? It just gives it that authenticity that you don't normally get from your garden variety football movie. it feels so real, even though this is acting.
Yeah. I was right after this. I know we gotta wrap up quick, but
Just
right
I can stretch it for about 10 more minutes.
Beeman has the interception. What's great too is during the interlude, they do have, because this is in Dallas, so they actually show shots of fans fighting where it's like,
yes,
I'm like, yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't really happen anymore because that's like you get ejected like immediately.
I can see you don't have Twitter/X. I saw a bunch of stuff in like Pittsburgh, in the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, well,
like random fights, between people.
It could happen, but typically they don't happen as much as they used to. Well, that are Eagles, like, throwing batteries at people.
Yeah.
Eagles fans are the worst. But so
I disavow.
They just have that one thing where the Knights guy, I think he's a front tackle.
The thing gets with the eye
knocked out, his eye pops out, and just the announcer goes, "I honestly no." I do believe he has injured his eye. Well, no shit.
No shit. This whole thing, again, there's a setup and a payoff, because he does that at the first game. And I think D'Amato said you need to turn that into a ritual. And then it becomes
because they'll love you for it after you do. If you win a couple games, they'll love you for it.
It's like, and it pays off here where it's like, oh shit, look at that. Dallas is in trouble now. Willie Beeman just puked. So
and it was right after that too. We have the last really good scene with Shark, because they have the 4th and 1 and Dallas says go for it. And
I had him on the floor. I showed it earlier.
Yeah, but Shark, Shark gets the stop, and and everyone goes like, well, for a minute, like, oh fuck, did he just die?
Yeah. I can show it.
Yeah.
And when they got him on the gurney, it's like, don't drop me.
I'm worth $1 million.
I'm worth $1 million. It's like I said, there are like bits and pieces of comedy interspersed into this fucking, it's a dark story. It's a really dark story. It's like, it's not dark, it's gritty.
Yeah, and what's great too is with the change in Beeman's attitude, you also have the change in Christina's. Because she's she's real around her, like everyone's either a sycophant or they're trying to just make money, because obviously that's what's going to be in a press box or an owner's booth. So she talks to her mom and apologizes, and now they get kind of back into the game and get back into the love of the sport, where it's like,
and they just
her dad wanted, and
it kind of turns her in from an owner into kind of a fan of sorts, and her mother as well, because her mother didn't care about the game if they won or not, and then the excitement of almost winning and then actually winning, it sends them into a frenzy, and a real like fan frenzy rather than just an owner frenzy.
And then right after we have Beeman. I'm trying to blitz, but sorry.
Yeah, no,
I know you got to go. I know it's late for you, but that conversation that Tony has with Beeman on the side, where again he talks about trying to bring him out of his funk, because he's already like trying to start to second guess himself. So instead of a pep talk, what does Tony do?
Like, just go out there and have some fun.
Jokes with them. I got a question for you. So, when you came over to my house, how was that jambalaya?
Yeah, I got it.
Where should I ever dance it? Why do you think I've been throwing up?
Yeah.
And it brings it. It snaps him right up his phone.
It's a great moment. It's a really great moment, because again, it's that setup and payoff. It's that little bit of comedy within this entire sort of intense moment where you're trying to win a game, but nothing kind of works for you. And then you have that little bit of tension release, plus making the audience, us, smile a little bit, and then right back into like intense.
Oh, and sorry,
Uh,
too, we kind of stepped over the fact that we had the bit where Beeman kind of reunites with the team and he apologizes to them, and everyone's kind of in simpatico. They're getting back on the same page.
yeah.
And
He
even
goes in,
like,
it's like, I know I've let you guys down. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. Let's just fucking win this game. And everybody's immediately like, okay, he apologized. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And then he kind of patches things up with Julian, where he sets up a play where he kind of looks like he's going solo, but actually gives it up to Julian.
Julian scores once, and then
he
after
almost
it,
scores.
too.
He gets pushed down the sidelines.
Sorry, no, you're right, because Julian actually steps up as the team player this time instead of doing what he normally would do and be the showboat guy that cost him the game.
And they even say we're the dynamic duo where it kind of comes out of nowhere because they never discussed them being a dynamic duo at all, but it kind of works. And of course, Willie takes like the last
the jump over, and it's
they
have the flash, like, again, the ayahuasca trip that he was on with the guy with the old leatherneck helmet going over.
And that this conversation at the very end, which I love the way they ended this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because essentially the movie kind of ended here where they won a playoff game, not the championship game.
No, they won 2 playoff games, and they got to the Pantheon Cup and they lost it.
No. They lost the next game.
Really? Because I didn't get that.
And they lost the next game.
Oh,
San Francisco took care of that.
No, I thought that they lost the cup to them. Never mind.
No, they kicked out of the playoff by the next game. But sort of the next scene was the final ending scene, but it was also running on the end credits essentially, which I found fucking great.
I thought that was fantastic. I will say too that I think the best part about the conversation that we get to see between Beeman and Tony is at the end, where he just flat out admits, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Because he already feels like he's hurt.
Executive producer Richard Donner.
What a legend.
See, another reason why. Because it's Laura Schuler Donner, his wife.
Yeah.
But it's their company. It's the Donner. It's the Donner production company. But
again, we have that final bit to again, also all the credit that Beeman is given to Cap and really to Tony vicariously during their final conversation. And then with the credits with the press conference about him going, fuck you guys, I'm taking your best QB too.
I was like, I'm thinking of a change. So I'm gonna head off to that new franchise in Albuquerque, the Aztecs. Really on point, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll leave that aside. It's like, I've signed Willie Beeman as a franchise,
player. Yeah.
So he's gonna be there for a while.
Like, oh yeah.
People,
see you guys.
You have to understand. The thing about it is Willie is 26 years old at the start of this movie. So he's still young. Prime is about 30. But yeah, I know most like NFL players are younger than 30, and 30 is,
I would say, typically your prime is your 28. Like 30, you're getting up there now. Where it's like, you better start thinking about retirement.
I'm coaching New Mexico next season. Yes, exactly. I'm coaching the new Aztecs, the new franchise in Albuquerque, New Mexico, called the Aztecs, and I'm signing Willie Beeman, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And even the fucking
Jack Rose, it's like
even the McGinley character is like, "Yeah, he got us there."
Because even when Tony comes down, he goes, now you're smoking cigars like me, eh?
Yeah. And he's like, he still got it. Like I said, end credits plus a nice little wrap-up scene in sort of like they're not setting up a next movie, and I don't think they should. And they
No,
never
because
even thought about making a sequel, but
it doesn't need to be because the game would go on regardless.
yeah.
Because the game
Yeah.
is still the game.
Yeah.
So
I just found it a very interesting way of finishing the entire movie. And he comes out with the biggest cigar ever, and he's so pleased with himself. And it works because he looks at the camera for a little bit and then he looks away. And I found it really interesting, sort of a fourth wall break for a second, and then it doesn't happen.
I will say, I think that this was such a very kind of unique dichotomy, because the way that you mentioned too, how Jamie Foxx kind of inspired Pacino to get into the speech, it's how their characters played off each other, because Tony got Beeman to really become the team player that he needed to be, and Beeman inspired Tony to be the coach that he needed to be again.
Yeah. And it's really weird how that dichotomy works, right? Where they're always at odds with each other, but then they learn from each other from being at that odds, and one takes the pieces that he needed from the other to make him a little bit better.
Yeah.
And again, this is all under the veil of this is fucking nuts where everything happens, yet you really believe these things happen. All right, cool. That kind of brings us to the end. And again, this is a movie that we could have covered in more detail if we had more time.
A lot more detail. We could have done a 3-hour one on this one very easily.
Yeah. I think regardless of the fact that how lengthy it is, which surprised both of us. Because I remember it being a flat out 2 hours. But to me, it went by really fast because there's a lot of characters and a lot of stuff is happening. And the smash cuts that are happening in the movie kind of not bog you down in one scene and then bog you down in another scene. It just jumps a lot, especially in the game time. Yeah. There's a lot happening all the time. So you're not bored.
Yes, I would say the only bits that I think that could be kind of cut is just some of the superfluous scrimmage shots that could have been cut a little bit down, and also the entire Mandy storyline could have been cut very easily. I don't think you really gain too much from it, because I think what you get really from the most important part of the entire Mandy storyline is the fact that how Coach D'Amato is pretty much all alone, but you get that from the first time he's trying to call his ex-wife.
Yeah, I get it. I see that point of view. Yeah. It just wanted to hammer in that nail.
Oh
so
yeah,
you'll know he sacrificed all
everything,
his life, all of his personal life, just to be in this game, in the football game. So yeah. All right. Cool. That kind of brings us to the end of this show.
I think next week we could do an extra long cinema death match.
We can do it. Yeah. Yeah. Next week is a lot more lighthearted.
There's a lot more levity to it. Yes.
A lot more levity because next week is Varsity Blues with James Van Der Beek and
I don't want your laugh.
Yeah. There's a lot. Next week is fun.
There's going to be a lot of that too, where I'm going to be referencing not another teen movie by accident because I conflate the movies all the time.
Yeah. All right. So go watch Varsity Blues, and we will see you next week, because remember, guys, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. We'll see you then.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go